Hello, my amazing friends. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today, we're going to talk about a simple yet powerful way to boost your English confidence, speaking English every single day. I know some of you might be thinking, I feel nervous when I speak English. I don't have anyone to practice with. I'm scared I'll make mistakes. I totally understand. But here's the good news. You don't need to be perfect. All you need to do is speak a little every day. The more you speak, the more confident you will feel. By the end of this lesson, you will have a simple, practical plan to start speaking English every day. And trust me, you'll see amazing results. So, let's dive in and discover how daily speaking can help you improve your English. Let's start with a simple idea. Confidence comes from action. If you want to feel more confident speaking English, you need to speak more often. Think about when you first learned how to cook. Were you good at it the first time? Probably not. You practiced, made mistakes, and tried again. Over time, you got better and better. The same thing happens with English. The more you speak, the better you get at it. And when you speak every day, something amazing happens. You start to speak more easily. Your pronunciation gets better. You remember more words. And most importantly, you feel braver. Now, let's look at 4 important ways speaking every day will help you improve. When you speak every day, you start to feel more natural with English. This means your words flow smoothly, and you don't need to stop and think as much. Fluency is about speaking clearly and without too many pauses. It's like learning to walk. At first, you might stumble, but the more you practice, the easier it gets. For example, imagine talking about your day. You don't need to use big words. Just simple sentences like, I woke up at 7 a.m., I brushed my teeth. I made breakfast. These are short, simple sentences, but by saying them every day, your brain gets used to putting English together easily. Daily speaking is like exercising your muscles. When you practice every day, your English skills get stronger, just like your body gets stronger when you exercise regularly. The more you speak, the better you get. This helps you speak faster and with fewer pauses. At first, it might feel hard to keep talking, and you may worry about making mistakes. But don't stop. Mistakes are part of learning. Keep going. As you practice, your confidence grows, and you will start to feel more comfortable speaking. One great way to practice is by talking to yourself in front of a mirror. Stand in front of the mirror for 5 minutes and talk about your day. You can say, I woke up early. I had a coffee. I worked on my project. I watched a movie in the evening. Don't worry if you make mistakes. Just keep talking. This simple habit of speaking every day helps you build fluency over time. Remember, fluency is not about speaking perfectly. It's about speaking without stopping too much. You might make small mistakes, but that's okay. The goal is to speak more easily and naturally. As you practice every day, you will notice a difference. You will feel more confident, and speaking English will become easier. So, try to speak English every day, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Talk about simple things like your day, your plans, or your favorite activities. This daily practice will help you build fluency and get more comfortable with speaking English naturally. When you speak every day, you are training your brain to think in English. At first, it might feel difficult, but over time, you will be able to speak faster, with fewer pauses, and with more confidence. Keep practicing, and soon you will find that speaking English becomes much easier. The key is to practice regularly. Just like how you get better at sports or learning a new skill with practice, you will improve your English with daily speaking. Stay consistent, and remember, it's okay to make mistakes. Keep going, and your fluency will grow. Have you ever listened to someone speak English clearly and thought, wow, I wish I could sound like that? Well, the good news is you can, but it won't happen just by listening. You need to practice speaking out loud. You need to move your mouth, train your tongue, and practice the different sounds in English. When you speak every day, you help your mouth muscles get stronger. This is important because when your mouth muscles are strong, your pronunciation becomes clearer. It's like learning to sing or playing a sport. In singing, the more you practice, the better you sound. In sports, the more you practice, the better your skills become. The same goes for speaking English. By practicing every day, you train your voice to sound clearer, and your pronunciation improves. At first, it may be difficult to say some words or sounds, but that's okay. With daily practice, it gets easier. Just like when you learn a new sport, you need time to get better. Your pronunciation is the same. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. A great way to improve your pronunciation is to record yourself speaking. Start by reading a short paragraph in English. You can pick something simple, like a short story, or a paragraph from a book. Record yourself reading it aloud. Listen to the recording carefully. How do you sound? Can you hear yourself clearly? Then, read the same paragraph again, but this time, try to speak more clearly. Focus on the sounds of the words. Speak slowly and carefully. You don't need to rush. Try to make your pronunciation sound as clear as possible. Listen to the new recording. Do you notice any improvement? This is a great way to track your progress. Every day, you will get better and better. At first, your pronunciation may not be perfect, but don't worry. That's completely normal. The goal is to improve little by little. As you practice, you'll begin to hear a difference. Your words will become clearer, and your speaking will sound more natural. If you find certain words difficult to pronounce, practice those words more often. Repeat them out loud every day. Over time, your mouth will get used to the sounds, and it will be easier to say them. You can also try listening to native speakers and repeating after them. This is called shadowing. When you shadow, you mimic the speaker's pronunciation, tone, and rhythm. It helps you sound more like a native speaker. Another helpful tip is to pay attention to how your mouth moves when you speak. In English, some sounds require your mouth to move in a certain way. For example, when you say "ibi theet," your tongue needs to touch the top of your teeth. Watching videos or listening to recordings of native speakers can help you understand how to move your mouth for each sound. Over time, with consistent practice, your pronunciation will improve. Just like learning to play a musical instrument, speaking clearly requires practice. The more you speak, the more your mouth and tongue will learn how to make the right sounds. In the beginning, you might feel self-conscious about how you sound. But remember, everyone starts somewhere. The most important thing is to keep practicing every day. Don't worry about being perfect. Focus on making small improvements. And soon, you'll notice that your pronunciation gets better every day. When you speak daily, your confidence will grow, and you will start to feel more comfortable with your pronunciation. Your voice will sound clearer, and you will be able to speak more easily. This will make you feel more confident when you speak English, and it will also help others understand you better. So, try recording yourself every day. Speak slowly and clearly. Listen to your recordings and try to improve with each one. Don't forget, pronunciation is a skill that gets better with practice, so keep going. Over time, you will notice a big difference in how you speak, and you'll be proud of how far you've come. Daily practice is the key to improving your pronunciation. With time and effort, you'll start sounding clearer and more confident. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be speaking English with the clarity and confidence you've always wanted. Here's something cool. When you speak every day, you remember words and phrases faster. Why? Because when you speak, your brain isn't just storing the words, it's using them, which makes the words easier to remember. Speaking every day helps turn English from something in a book into something you use in real life. Let's take an example. Think about a simple sentence like, "I'm going to the store." If you say this every day, it starts to feel natural. At first, you might need to think about the words, but after saying it a few times, your brain doesn't need to search for the words anymore. They just come out easily. This is because your brain gets used to the words, and you remember them faster. The more you speak, the more your brain connects the words together. This helps you use them in different situations without thinking too hard. When you practice speaking, your memory strengthens, and it becomes easier to remember new words and phrases. So, how can you practice this? Here's a simple tip. Each morning, choose 3 new English words or phrases. These can be anything you want to learn or practice. Maybe they are words you've heard recently, or maybe you saw them in a book or video. Choose ones that feel useful to you. Now, take those 3 words or phrases and try to use them throughout the day. For example, if one of your words is happy, try to say it in different sentences. You could say, "I'm happy today," or "This weather makes me happy." Say the words out loud at least 5 times during the day. The more you say them, the stronger your memory becomes. As you do this every day, you'll find that these words and phrases start to stick in your mind. They become easier to remember, and your brain won't have to search for them. You'll just be able to use them naturally. Another way to improve memory is to practice using new words in conversations. This can be with a friend, a family member, or even just by yourself. The more you use the words in different situations, the better your memory gets. For example, let's say you've learned the phrase, "I don't understand." The next time someone says something in English that you don't understand, you can use this phrase to express yourself. "I don't understand," you might say. Or you could say, "Can you repeat that, please?" The more you use these phrases, the more they become part of your memory. In addition to speaking, you can also practice by writing down new words or phrases. Write them in a notebook or on a piece of paper. Then, try to use them in sentences. Writing helps your brain connect the words to their meanings, which makes it easier to remember them later. Let's also talk about repeating words and phrases. The more you repeat a word, the stronger your memory becomes. For example, if you learn the word delicious, try to say it many times. This pizza is delicious. This cake is delicious. That coffee was delicious. The more you say it, the better your brain will remember it. You can also make flashcards with new words on one side and their meanings or pictures on the other. Review these cards every day to help your brain remember the words faster. You don't need to make the cards fancy, just simple and clear. Don't worry if you forget a word sometimes. That happens to everyone, even native speakers. The key is to keep practicing. If you forget a word, don't be afraid to ask for help or look it up. The more you practice speaking and remembering, the easier it gets. One last tip. Try to connect new words to something you already know. If you learn the word tired, think about a time when you felt tired, maybe after a long day at school or work. By connecting new words to personal experiences, your brain will remember them better. Remember, speaking every day is like exercising your brain. The more you speak, the faster your memory will improve. Your brain gets stronger, and you start remembering words and phrases easily. It's not just about repeating words, it's about using them in real life, making them part of your everyday English. So, keep practicing. Choose new words every day, say them out loud, and use them in sentences. The more you speak, the better your memory will become. And the more you speak, the more confident you'll feel when you speak English. It's all about practice, consistency, and using the language every day. Keep going, and you'll see the amazing results soon. This is my favorite part, boldness. When you speak English every day, something amazing happens. You begin to feel brave. At first, you might be scared to speak. You might worry about making mistakes or sounding wrong. But as you practice more and more, you start to feel stronger. You stop worrying so much about the mistakes you make. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. Instead, you just speak. It's like when you first start walking. At first, you might need help and feel unsure. But the more you walk, the easier it gets. And soon, you're walking confidently all by yourself. Speaking English works the same way. The more you speak, the more confident you become. Real confidence comes from action. Confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you build. The more you speak, the more you will trust yourself. You'll begin to feel bold, even if you don't speak perfectly every time. Let's look at an example. Imagine you are talking with a friend. At first, you might be afraid to speak. But as you keep trying, you start feeling less nervous. Your voice becomes stronger, and you speak more clearly. The next time you have to speak in English, you feel more confident. It gets easier each time. Speaking every day builds this kind of boldness. You no longer worry about making mistakes. You begin to trust yourself. You start to speak because you know that practice is the key to success. It's not about being perfect. It's about using the language. And as you keep using English every day, you grow bolder and bolder. Sometimes, the fear of making mistakes stops us from speaking. But if we keep practicing, we begin to realize that mistakes are part of the learning process. Every mistake is a chance to learn and improve. Even native speakers make mistakes. They don't stop talking just because they make a mistake. They keep going, and that's what helps them become better. You can do the same. A big part of becoming bold is letting go of the fear of mistakes. Every time you speak, even if you make a mistake, you are learning. You are growing. You are becoming more confident. This is how real confidence is born. Not from waiting for the perfect moment, but from taking action and speaking every day. Let's try a little challenge. It can be a fun way to push yourself and become more confident. Here are some easy things you can do to challenge yourself. Talk to a friend in English, even if it's just for a few minutes. You don't have to speak perfectly. Just try your best. Leave a short voice message in English to a friend or family member. You can talk about your day or ask a simple question. Next time you go to a store or meet someone, try saying something in English. You could say, "Hello," or ask, "How much is this?" or Where is the bathroom? Start small. The goal is to speak and practice. You don't need to be perfect. Being bold is about trying, even when you feel nervous. It's about speaking, even if you're afraid of making mistakes. If you keep pushing yourself, you will feel your confidence growing every day. And little by little, you will become bolder. You'll find that speaking English becomes easier and more natural. Soon, speaking English will feel as comfortable as talking to a friend in your own language. Here's another tip. Don't be afraid to speak in front of a mirror. When you're alone, you can practice speaking without worrying about what others think. You can practice saying simple sentences like, "I love learning English," or "My name is your name." It might feel a little strange at first, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. Also, don't forget to celebrate your progress. Every time you speak, no matter how small, you are becoming more confident. Give yourself a little reward for trying. You might say to yourself, "Good job! I spoke in English today." This positive thinking helps you feel more confident and builds your courage to speak more. As you speak more, you'll start to realize that it's okay to make mistakes. The more you speak, the less you worry about being perfect. You'll focus more on the message you want to share, and that's what matters most. The real secret to becoming bold in English is to practice every day. Speak to yourself, speak to others, and speak as much as you can. The more you speak, the more confident and bold you will become. Remember, confidence is something you can grow. It doesn't happen overnight, but with practice, it gets stronger. You can do it, just like learning anything else in life. Start small, be brave, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every time you speak, you are one step closer to becoming a more confident English speaker. So go ahead, take the challenge. Talk to someone in English today. Leave that voice message. Say something simple to a shopkeeper. Just speak, and let your confidence grow. You'll be amazed at how bold you can become with daily practice. So, my amazing friends, here's what we learned today. Speaking English every day is the key to improving your fluency, pronunciation, memory, and most of all, your confidence. It's not about speaking perfectly. It's about speaking often and making it a part of your routine. When you speak regularly, you'll notice progress, and over time, you'll feel more comfortable and confident. Remember, you don't have to speak for hours every day. Start small. Talk to yourself in English, record your voice, or chat with a friend. At first, it might feel a little strange, but soon it will feel more natural. And before you know it, you'll be speaking faster, clearer, and with more boldness. The most important thing to remember is this: confidence is not something you are born with. It's something you build, step by step. Every time you speak, you are building your confidence. Thank you so much for watching today's lesson. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and remember, don't give up. You've got this.